Alright. Shalom, Israel. This is the Israelite School, UPK. Of course, we established in 1969 under the righteous rulership of Commander General YAHANNA. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite groups or camp. And what we teach, of course, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are the true biblical Jews according to the Bible. You understand? And what we need to realize in this time period that we are in right now, you understand, dealing with all of these curses that we are seeing that is prophesied within the Bible. You understand? Like we're seeing the Moabites, they're just getting killed by the thousands with that coronavirus. You understand? We are seeing, all throughout social media as far as our oppressor is just dropping dead, man. You understand? And what's going to help blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians is just straight unity, man. You understand? We need to realize exactly what our sole purpose is while we're on earth, man. You understand? Like we need to realize exactly why. You understand? Of course, the Bible is only for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man, and not to join hand in hand with our oppressor, man. Right. You understand? Like we need to realize exactly, man, why. You understand? Like why? Of course, we just don't join hand in hand with our oppressor. We actually need to join hand in hand with one another, man. You understand? Like I always bring out that slogan. You understand? For us, by us. You understand? Like FUBU, that Bible is for us and is by us, man. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing but blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians all throughout that Bible, man. You know what I'm saying? And one of the main thing that Christ taught was on straight brotherhood, man. And brotherhood is throughout the whole Bible, man. And why our oppressor is trying to break us from that trend, because he knows exactly that brotherhood is a true weapon, man. You know what I'm saying? If we could, we're gonna open it up. Actually, with an article, I'm just gonna read this article. You know what I'm saying? And it shows exactly why we should not join hand in hand with our oppressor, man. You know what I'm saying? This is an article that was it happened roughly around 20 years out there in Texas. This is the New York Times. It says black man fatally dragged in a possible racial killing, and this was dated June 10th. Of 1998, man. A black man was dragged to his death on Sunday from the back of a pickup truck in a rural section of Texas known for a racist and Klan activity. And today, 3 white men were charged with the murder. The broken body, you know what I'm saying? It says the broken body. You understand? Not as far as, okay, we just found the body. It says a broken body of James Bird was 49, was discovered on Sunday morning by residents of an area just outside of East Texas, town of Jasper, population of 8,000. As he walked home from his parents' house. Now, just visualize that. You understand? Like this is just a normal black man. You understand? Walking home from his parents' house. You understand? Of course, he was 49 at the time, so he was probably indeed taking care of his family. You know, like as far as taking care of his parents. You understand? If he was 49, you know, like 9 out of 10 times he was actually caring for his family. Right. So as he walked home from his parents' house on Saturday night, Mr. Bird was apparently picked up by the men sometime after midnight and taken to the woods, where he was beaten, then chained to the truck and dragged for 2 miles. And it's going to go a little bit more in detail of exactly how. You got something to say, sir? You got it, sir. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, man, like, what you bringing out is heavy about this story. Like you said, visualizing it. Mm-hmm. We visualizing it, and as we visualize it, it sounds like 1882.
Right.
That's what it sounds like. It sounds like, 1800.
Kind
of. It was in real slavery. Like, it sounds like something that we watch on TV from Black history from slavery time. But no, this is today in today's age.
Right.
Which goes to show that slavery is still alive and well.
Right. You understand? And of course, you understand. Like we do know exactly why this act happened. You understand? In the early of the article, it said that this was an actual clan city. You understand? And this article came out 20 years ago, man. You understand? And it's still relevant to today. I'm gonna go and keep reading just a little bit more of this article so we can get a little bit more in detail of how, of course, we should be separate from our oppressor, man. You know what I'm saying? Because if we predate slavery, man, you know what I'm saying? Of course, we was hung. You know what I'm saying? We was raped. We were robbed, man. You know what I'm saying? From our true identity, man. And this is exactly what happened to this brother right here, James Byrd. Let's see, 2 miles guy. James Gray, the Jasper County District Attorney, called the killing probably the most brutal I've ever seen in 20 years as a prosecutor, man. You understand? Now, of course, if we fast forward to the day, you understand? Of course, we hear about these quote unquote terrorist attacks, and of course, our oppressor with using mainstream media, they always say, "Oh man, well this is the worst. This is the worst terrorist attack ever." You understand? Like I think about down there in Orlando, Florida, when they was bringing out as far as that homosexual killing, they said that this was the most horrendous killing that we have ever seen, man, ever seen. But no, I think about this brother right here, man, and of course, you know what I'm saying, we do not agree with homosexuality within the UPK, man. You know what I'm saying? Of course, what had to happen because the Most High allowed it to happen, man. You understand? So I'm gonna read this last part one more time, man, just so it can sink in, man. And this article came out 20 years ago, man, and I'm pulling it for a very inevitable reason, man. You understand? So Guy James Gray, the Jasper County District Attorney, called the killing probably the most brutal I've ever seen in 20 years as a prosecutor. Mr. Byrd's torso was found on the edge of a paved road. Now this is just his torso. You understand? Like this, like just visualize this, man. You understand? Like this was somebody's uncle, man. You understand? Like of course he had parents, man. You understand? So of course he had family members, man. Like just imagine waking up and then seeing. You understand? It says his torso was found at the edge of a paved road. And it gets a little bit deeper. It says his head and an arm in a ditch about a mile away. You know what I'm saying? Like our oppressor is definitely the most servile beast on this planet, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And of course the scripture said that we are to be separate. And this is why we should be separate, man. You know what I'm saying? Because they do not truly care about us, man. His torso, man, was just on a paved road, and his head and an arm in a ditch about a mile away, according to an affidavit, man. According to this affidavit, man. The police charged, of course, Shawnee Berry, Lawrence Brewer King with murder. The district attorney said Mr. Brewer and Mr. King had racist tattoos and were Ku Klux Klan supporters, leading investigators to believe the killing was racially motivated.
Right.
Well, you think so? Right. You understand? This was exactly racially profiled, man. Of course, these oppressors, they did get persecuted, man. But of course, once again, man, this just shows us on how separate we should be from our oppressor, man. You understand? How separate we should truly be from our oppressor, man. You understand? And of course, brotherhood and sisterhood is just so imperative, man, in our fight every single day through our life, man. You know what I mean? Because just literally think about that, man. You know what I'm saying? Following our oppressor ways got us to believe that in monogamous relationship or monogamous marriage is going to work, man. And what happens, man? We are leading the nation within divorce, man. You know what I'm saying? So we can find out that does not happen, man. You know what I'm saying? We are killing one another, man, all because of why, man? All because our oppressor tells us all throughout social media, all throughout the TV to hate one another, man. You understand? Because we need to be, of course, you understand? We need to be patient, man. We need to have that long suffering. You know what I'm saying? We need to have that forgiving and not hold grudges against our brothers and sisters, man. You understand? We must treat each other like a brother and sister, man. Like we come from the true lineage, man, of the nation of Israel, man. And how can we truly gain a brother and sister, man? How can we truly gain a brother and sister, man? You know what I'm saying? By telling them to be separate from our oppressor, man. Right. Because our oppressor has done nothing but just have us at war against one another, man. You know what I'm saying? We shouldn't make or just put off our brother's situation, man, just because we think that we may know a little bit more than the situation, or we're above the situation. No, man. Reach that brother and sister exactly where they're at, man. You know what I'm saying? Reach that brother and sister exactly where they're at, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we have to have a righteous hatred for our oppressor, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We have to have a true righteous hatred for our oppressor, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to think about that, man. Like, we really have to sit down and really sit and just think about it. Like, it's our oppressor fault that we are in the situation that we are in right now, man. I mean, just think about it, man. Back in slavery time, I mean, well, let me just put it like this. You understand? If you get in a car accident, and this may sound a little bit far-fetched for people, you understand? But if you get in a car accident, you should be mad at your oppressor for that, man.
Right.
You understand? And why do I say that? Because back in slavery, did we not drive them around on horses? Did we not have them on our backs, hauling all of their goods? Were we not their slaves? Yes, we were, man. And this is why, man, we should continue to be separate from those other nations, man. You understand? And I think about, I always think about that sister, man. It was floating through social media about 4 or 5 months ago, man, where she hated her skin so much that she sat in a tub of bleach and wanted to bleach her own skin, man. You know what I'm saying? She wanted to bleach her own skin all because she did not like the color of her skin, man. That's just sickening, man. You know what I'm saying? And we think about, of course, the psychological damage that does to everyone that's else seeing that, man. Just imagine how many little girls and how many little boys actually say, oh, well, she hates her skin, so you know what, I'm going to do the same thing to my skin because I don't like my skin. I cannot stand my skin, man. No, man. You know what I'm saying? But in Solomon, he said, man, I am black, but comely, man. You know what I'm saying? We have to be proud to be black, man. You know what I'm saying? Because this is truly all that we have, man. You know what I'm saying? And we need to realize that, of course, that we can't truly love everyone, man. We cannot truly love everyone because the Most High chose us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You cannot love the oppressor and love the oppressed. Come on now.
Right.
You can't say that you love your brother, but you're celebrating all these abominable holidays. Christmas, Thanksgiving, you're still eating pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster. You know what I'm saying? You're still you're still going to the strip clubs. You're still buying out whores. You're still being a whoremonger. No, man, not at all, man.
Right. You know
what I'm saying? Like, you can't love the haunted in the hunter, man. You know what I'm saying? That is something that absolutely cannot happen, man. You know what I'm saying? Because we are truly the hunted, man. You know what I'm saying? The scripture says, man, that they hunt our steps, man. You know what I'm saying? They kill us within our own streets, man. So we have to be separate from them. And we need to have an understanding on why we should be separate from them, man. You know what I'm saying? And just to give a little visual, you know what I'm saying? If, you know, anybody out there that have kids or, you know, they think about having kids, man, imagine if, you know, our oppressor raped or, you know, killed your kid, man. Can you truly forgive that rapist, man? Are you going to be able to forgive that person, man? I know I'm not going to be able to, man. And if someone was able, if someone actually raped my child, I cannot forgive that person, man. I cannot truly forgive that person, man. You got something you want to say, sir? I ain't no sweat. If we can get the first scripture, if we can get Matthew's chapter 26 and verse 11. You know what I'm saying? Because of course the Christian pastor will say that all the brother needs to do is get a better is to get a better job, man. You know what I'm saying? Because the Christian pastor, he follows suits of the Roman Catholic Church, man. Because they don't, because truly they do not care about blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man. All they care about is the tamarines and Matthew chapter 26 and verse 11, sir. You understand? Because all they care about is themselves. All they care about is taking grandma's money and making our oppressors rich, man. And that's their main goal, and that's their main duty. You understand? So one of our main duties is to have a righteous hatred for them, man. You understand? Because they show and prove that they hate us daily, on a daily basis. So why, of course, according to the scriptures, why we cannot, of course, just be separate from them? You understand? Like, we don't have to be as far as out and blandly, you understand, and say that we hate them. Of course, we do, because the Most High do. You understand? But it can just be simple by just separating from them. You understand? And we also need, of course, to realize that, you know, like we were saying before, you know, the haunted, you know, we can't, as far as love the oppressor, you understand, and then also love our brother as well too. And what we truly need to be doing, we truly need to be taking care of the poor, man. You understand? Because as a nation, we are in poverty, man. And this is something that truly needs to happen. This is something that needs to be taught day in and day out. You understand? That we are here for our people only, man. You understand? You have that scripture, sir?
Come. The book of Matthew, chapter 26, verse 11. Mm-hmm. For ye have the poor always with you, but me ye have not always.
You understand? Of course, you understand? Throughout World War II, man, you understand? Black men lost arms, limbs, you know, like, and they're out sleeping on the streets right now, man.
Right.
You understand? Like, we can thank Donald Trump for that, man.
Right.
You understand? Because that's his true definition of making America great again, man. You understand? But what we need to do is make blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians great again, man. Right. By doing what? By separating from this heathen nation, man. Just truly just separating from this nation, man. If we can get it from the top.
Come. The book of Matthew, chapter 26, verse 11.
Uh-huh.
For ye have the poor always with you, but me ye have not always.
You understand? Because we need to realize, man, that we truly need to take care of the poor, man. You understand? Like, we're in these factory jobs, you understand? And if we do have a corporate job, you understand, we are overworked, but still underpaid, man. In everything that we do, man. You understand? Everything that we do, man. You understand? And it's the European man's fault, man. You understand? We eat pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster, and then what, man? You know, like, we got to get an EpiPen. You understand? To stop that disease, you understand, from lingering throughout our blood vessel, man.
Right.
Because according to the scriptures, man, that is not within our dietary law, man.
Right.
You understand? That's something that we should not be eating, man. But brothers and sisters, and we see it all throughout social media, man, they just love those, what they call them shrimp broils, where they have the shrimp, the potatoes, the sausage, the lobster, and then what, man? You understand? They 5-10. I mean, well, shoot, not even that. 6 months to a year, they got high blood pressure. They have high cholesterol, man. You understand? They ended up gaining so much weight, man. Why, man? Because they just love that quote-unquote delicacy, man. But of course, according to the Most High, it is abomination, man, and it is of a heathen weight, man. If we can get the scripture from the top.
Come. The book of Matthew, chapter 26, verse 11.
Mm-hmm.
For ye have the poor always with you,
mm-hmm.
but me ye have not always.
You understand? And this is why we need to be separate, man, from all these other nations, man, because they truly do not care about blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man. You understand? Donald Trump does not truly care about blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man. George Bush did not care about blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man. You understand? Who was that? Bill Clinton, man. That locked up all them brothers and sisters off of an ounce of weed, and brothers and sisters are still in jail now, man. And now what we have, man? We have weed legalized in almost all the states throughout America, man. Of course, not saying that that marijuana is right to do. But man, just think about all those fathers, man, that are in jail because of that ounce of weed, man. Why, man? You know what I'm saying? Because Ronald Reagan, he brought the drugs over for that brother to sell them, man.
Right.
You understand? Now what, man? Now he's attempting to try to make a living. You know what I'm saying? Because he don't want to, as far as rob these grocery stores or he can't get a job because he's a felon. Right. You know what I'm saying? So he has to do what, man? He still has to provide for his family, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we have to treat our brothers and sisters exactly where they're at, man. You know what I'm saying? Because we have no idea exactly what they may or have been going through, man. And that's why it's so imperative, man, that we need to realize, man, that the poor is truly going to inherit the kingdom of heaven, man.
Right.
You understand? You can have all the money in the world, man, but if you do not know that brotherhood and sisterhood is going to be able to make you through it, man, all that money is worthless, man.
Right.
You understand? Like, you going to that slavery is just going to be worthless, man. You saying looking out for your brothers and sisters, man, that's the most important thing that you can ever do, man. If I could, can we drop that? Can we go ahead and get Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 17, sir, if you don't mind? Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 17. Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 17. Shalaya. You understand? Just going back to this article, man. Like this just shows how much they truly hate us, man. And although this article is over 20 years old, man, I mean, like, we still have brothers and sisters, man, that have been killed by our oppressor and literally got off scot-free, man. And so, like, just to name a few, man, Trayvon Martin, man, Sandra Bland, Katherine Johnson, Sean Bell, Eric Gardner. I mean, like, the list can go on and on, man. Rakia Boyd, man, Mike Brown, Kamani Gray, Tamir Rice, Freddie Gray. You understand? It just keep on. Shall I go?
Ecclesiastes, right?
Yeah, sir. You understand? Because I mean, like, the list can go on and on, man, about blacks getting killed by our oppressor and our oppressor getting off scot-free, man. And this is truly why we should be truly separate from our oppressor, man. Because they showing that they don't give a damn about us, man. You saying what we truly need to be giving a damn about, Shalai, is ourselves, man. Right. And how we're going to build up this kingdom and how we're going to take care of the poor, man. You know what I'm saying? And how are we going to get our brothers and sisters off drugs, man? How are we going to get our sister from being a whore? How are we going to get our brother from being a whoremonger and going to the strip club to throw money at our sisters, man? This is what truly needs to happen, man. You understand? You got that scripture, sir?
Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 17.
17, if you don't mind, sir.
Chapter 12, verse 17.
Sir. Well, it may be Ecclesiasticus. It's just like 12, and 17. Let me actually just check on that. Shalakia, because I could be in the wrong on that. Just give me 1 second, though. Shalakia. 12. Yes, it's actually Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 17. If you don't have it, I can read it, sir.
I got it right here.
All right, most high Christ.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, verse 17. Mm-hmm. If adversities came upon thee, mm-hmm. thou shalt find him They're first.
You know what I'm saying? Him is the oppressor, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Every problem that you have, like I was saying before, man, blame it on our oppressor, man. If you, like I was saying before, if you get in that car accident, man, blame the oppressor, man, because we drove them around, man, during slavery, man, and we're still driving them around this day, man.
Right.
You're saying it's not every rich person having a black boy or a black teenager driving them around, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's something that we truly have to realize, man, that our oppressor is a true reason for our downfall, man.
That's right.
Keep going.
Come. And though he pretend to help thee.
You know what I'm saying? And though, of course, he pretends to help thee, man. You know what I'm saying? He's still going to see you that eviction notice, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Your cousin is still going to be on crack because of our oppressor, man. You know what I'm saying? You're still going to have these child custody, these child support cases, man, going on. And who's all behind it, man? Oh, oppressor, man.
Yeah, right.
Should I, you want to say something, sir?
Kind. I was just gonna say that's so heavy what you bringing out because today I heard Mike Bloomberg. I think it was Mike Bloomberg talking, and the only thing he was talking about the whole time was how he said he was going to make things better for black people. Those were the words out of his mouth. He said if I get elected, he said, I'm going to make to where in the next 10 years, black people are going to have a better income.
Good night.
In another 10 years, black people are going to have good credit. And I was just like, good night.
If I could add to what he's saying, because that's heavy as hell right there. Who else said that? I mean, right. Every president has said that. All the way back to George Washington. How he was going to treat the slaves all up and down, man. So they saying the same thing. And we know damn well that the white Salakia, that our oppressor is the deceiver on this earth.
Right.
So we know that they don't have any interest in making anything better for blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians. The ghettos are going to still be the goddamn ghettos. The hoods are going to be the hoods. It's going to be crack on every goddamn corner.
Right.
And that's just what it is as long as we under the leadership of our oppressors, man. They don't need to get your hopes up. Donald Trump ain't gonna make things better.
Right. You understand? And if we think about that as well too, Abraham Lincoln, of course, set up the whole quote unquote as far as to free the slaves, but not a lot of people know that he had slaves as well, man.
Right.
You understand? And this is the reason, man, why, you understand, like we should be looking at our brothers, man, and not looking at their situation, but looking at our oppressor and realizing like, man, you know what? That brother is going through that situation because of our oppressor, man. Right. And we should meet that brother exactly where he's at, man. You understand? Like we should be looking at our oppressor as an unattractive creature, man, that has done nothing but plague blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man. You understand? He's the reason why our brothers and sisters are depressed, are angry, man. You understand? Going after that wrongful lust, man. Meaning, you understand, as far as the sexual deviance, man. You understand? Because our oppressor, he's the author of the sexual deviances, man. You understand? This is something that we truly should be looking on to, man. You understand? And of course, just like we was bringing out, man, of course he's going to pretend that he wants to help us. But man, but the scripture says what, man? You understand? What's that? Psalms 55 and 21. You understand? Of course, man. You understand? We already know what that scripture is, man.
Right.
If we could get that scripture, sir, if you don't mind. You understand? Because he is definitely going to pretend that he wants to help us, man. But in the back of his mind, you understand? Straight destruction is within his heart, man. You understand? Because that's exactly what he wants to see, man. He wants us to see he wants to see you hating your brother and sister, man.
Yeah, right.
And we should be looking at the outer appearance of it, man. Like, oh, you know what? It's not that brother's fault, man. It's our oppressor's fault, man.
Right.
If you could, sir, if you don't mind.
The book of Psalms, chapter 55, verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter.
Good night, man. What was that guy name that you had just brought out, Officer of mine?
Bloomberg.
Man, Bloomberg, man. He said, you know what? Everything's going to be all right in 10 years for black people, man. Come on now. Everything's going to be all right for black people? Come on, man.
Good night.
That is a lie, man. You know what I'm saying? And the truth is not in that, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because we have been oppressed for, man, over 400 years, man. 500 years now, man. You know what I'm saying? This is something that we truly need to realize, man. If we can get that scripture from the top.
The book of Psalms, chapter 55, verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart.
I mean, man, look at gentrification, man.
Right.
Who's behind gentrification, man?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you look at all these cities, man, here throughout America, man. Who's a part of that gentrification, man? You know what I'm saying? Like, you go into the hoods now, man. Who you see, man? You see Becky riding her bike. You know what I'm saying? You see Bill walking the dogs with little Sarah. You understand? And they just living freely in our hoods, man. Something that we do, man.
Right.
Also, don't you want to say something, sir?
Nah, it's like I was like, whenever you see Esau walking a dog in the black neighborhood, you know it's finished.
Right, you understand? And that's something that we definitely need to keep an eye on, man. Because best believe, if Tyrone went to their neighborhoods, he's getting locked up for sure, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If Keisha goes into their hoods, she's definitely going to get locked up, man. You know what I'm saying? And it's another thing, you know what I'm saying, as far as with the sisters, man. You know what I'm saying? If you see a sister and she has her kids, man, and she's walking, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't look at that sister at all, like she a thought, or, like she's been ran through. No, man, what we should be looking at, man, is our oppressor did that to our sister, man.
Right.
You understand? Of course, you understand? Like, she may have made some real bad decisions in her life, man. You understand? But don't fault her, man. You understand? Reach her exactly where she's at, man, and see what all can be done for her, man. You saying? Because that is our sole duty, and our sole duty is to be doing what, man? Separating from our oppressor, man. Because if we do not separate from our oppressor, we're gonna look at that sister as, oh man, she just a hoe, man. You know what I'm saying? Or like she had 5-6 baby daddies, man. Who the hell cares, man? Should like it, man. You know what I'm saying? It's still some good in that sister. Why, man? Because she has the lineage of the Black Hispanics and Native Indians, man. You know what I'm saying? She is of the 12 tribes of Israel, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to make sure, man. Like, we have to look out, man, for us, man. Because you truly need brotherhood and sisterhood in the household, man. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing like a strong father and a nourishing mother in a household, man. Why, man? Because kids can't raise themselves, man. And that's what we're seeing out here now within our society, man. Kids raising kids, man.
Right.
And don't have no type of structure, have nothing, man. Why, man? Because they so caught up on social media. They so caught up on TV and these quote unquote reality TV shows, man.
Right. And
who's all behind that? Our oppressor is behind that, man. You know what I'm saying? Because true war is in his heart, man. You know what I'm saying? Because the scripture says that he come to set a variance, man, against that, man. You know what I'm saying? Christ did, man. You know what I'm saying? But our oppressor is so strong, man. So what do we have to do? We have to be stronger, man. Like the scripture says, we have to do everything with all our might, man.
That's right.
We truly have to do everything with all our might when it comes to our brothers and sisters, man. Because if not, man, we failed them, man. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, we might as well be a Donald Trump supporter if we're not out for the poor, man. Like the scripture is saying, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because then the scripture say in Matthews that the poor is going to be left behind. But me, talking about Christ, he's not, man. So this is truly who we need to be going after, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And think about this, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, truly think about this, man. In the state of Illinois, man, about 2-3 years ago, man, and they're still in the works of this, or where they actually have to pay for air. They have to pay for air, man.
Good night.
You know what I'm saying? They have to pay for air, man. And this is something that has been in the works for some time, and they're still working on that, man. But just think about what that's going to do to the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian community, man. What they gonna do, man? They're gonna be sitting in the house, man. not, of course, not able to work now. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to be able to go anywhere. Why, man? Because they want us to be inside and inside only, man, and not to inherit the kingdom of heaven like the scripture says, man.
That's right.
They want to further confuse us, man.
That's right.
Because that's their sole duty, is just nothing but confusion. Let's just further confuse them. Let's get social media. Let's put the LGBT community act on them.
Right.
And if we think about that LGBT community, it's truly structured for a black man. It's truly structured for a black man. And how do we know that? We can see it all throughout TV, man. All throughout the commercials. All throughout social media, man. And this is something that we should be angry about, man. But of course, the scripture says, man, be angry, but sin not, man. Use that sin, use that anger to go after the poor, man. Use that anger to help out your brother and sister, man. Because they truly is all we have, man. You know what I'm saying? Of course, if we can get Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 1, man. You know what I'm saying? Because our oppressor, their main duty is to undermine you, man. To think that they know more than you, man. But once you open up these scriptures and realize your true identity and how the scripture says in Deuteronomy 76 that we should be separate from them, then you will realize why they are doing this to us, man. You know what I'm saying? Because they truly know that their time is coming up, man. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 1, if you don't mind, sir.
I got it.
Con.
The book of Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 1. To everything there is a season. And a time to every purpose under the heaven. Verse 2. A time to be born. And a time to die.
Okay.
A time to plant. A time to pluck up that which is planted.
If we can drop down to verse 8, shall I?
Come. Verse 8. A time to love. And a time to hate.
You understand? Of course, man, the Most High hates what black, Spains, and Native Indians are promoting these days, man. You know what I'm saying? God hatred, man, it's a perfect hatred, man. You know what I'm saying? And we have to realize, man, what the Most High push is exactly what we should be pushing, man. If the Most High hate our oppressor, we should hate our oppressor as well too, man, with a perfect righteous hatred, man. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because that righteous hatred is going to slowly separate what you have, of course, is the American ways, and what the Most High has promised for you, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like if we can read verse 8 one more time, Shalai, sir.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 8. A time to love and a time to hate. A time of war and a time of peace.
I mean, like, think about that, man. I mean, like, think about Rosewood, man.
Right. You know
what I'm saying? Like, think about Black Wall Street out there in Tulsa, Oklahoma, man. You know what I'm saying? Our oppressor had a perfect hatred for us, man. You know what I'm saying? Because we were building in Black Wall Street, man. You know what I'm saying? We had our own banks, man. We had our own streets, man. You know what I'm saying? We had our own airplanes, man. We had everything that we needed, man. And we were generating income throughout the community, man. And what did our oppressor do, man? He came and he seen how great this was and how beneficial it was for us. And what did he do? He said, oh, man, the same thing Christopher Columbus did, man. Oh, man, they must be put to death, man. We must learn their ways and then put them to death, man, because they do not care for us, man. And this is something that we truly need to just have embedded in our brains, man, that our oppressor is the main reason why we are in our situation right now, man.
Right.
So when we look at our brother and sister, man, let's look at them as just that, our brother and sister, man. Right. Not because of the situation that they may be going through. You know what I'm saying? Not because of they may be up there, sir. Like, We need to realize, man, that everything, man. When I say everything, I'm talking about, man, everything, man. I mean, like the list can go on and on about what Black Hispanics and Native Indians are going through right now, man. You got the Native Indians on reservoirs right now, man, and this is their country, man. This is their country, man. They built this, man. You know what I'm saying? You have so many Native Indians, man, and throughout so many tribes, man, all throughout South Carolina, all throughout North Carolina alone, man. If you dig up the dirt far enough, man, you're going to find some Native Indian bones, man. You're going to find some of their residue, man. Some of their clothing, man, with fringes on it, man. With that shield of David, man. If you dig a little bit deeper, man, and truly realize that we are the greatest people that truly walk this place, man, you will understand that our oppressor is to have, we must have a perfect hatred for him, man.
Right.
If we can get Romans 9 and 13, if you don't mind, sir.
Come.
You can check it.
Oh, shit.
He went into something heavy way earlier in the class, where he was saying that, that we rely on these politicians and we sit here as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians and we rely on our oppressors. Mm-hmm. You understand? When the brotherhood inside of Israel is supposed to be strong, that we are able to rely on each other. You know what I'm saying? That we're able to rely on our leaders. Mm-hmm. We're living in a time period where our oppressors have destroyed us so much that there is no loyalty amongst us anymore. So we can't rely on each other. We don't know how to rely on each other, I should say. Because we could learn loyalty as a people as a whole. Right. We could learn how to be brothers and sisters to each other as a whole. The only way you want to learn that is in Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. That's the only way you're going to learn that truth. You understand? But other than that, the rich don't give a damn about a Black Hispanic man. The rich could care less if you sleeping on the side of the damn road with nothing. Right. Not even a penny to your name.
Good night.
He could care less. And if I could, you mind if I pull a scripture real quick out? Ecclesiasticus 13 and 6. You know what I'm saying? Ecclesiasticus, that's in the Apocrypha, chapter 13 and 6. The rich don't give a damn, who you are. You know what I'm saying? And all they want is what they can get out of you. Right. You know what I'm saying? All of these politicians, the only thing they care about when it comes to the Black and Latino communities is getting their votes. Right. So they can have their own agendas. Right. They can give a damn less if you living in the ghettos. Right. They can care less if you ain't got no food to feed that baby or that child. They can give a damn about Pookie on the corner on crack and drugs. Right. They don't give a damn about him. Right. They don't give a damn about the sister, out there, prostituting her body. You don't give a damn about them. Right. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna tell you who does care about Black, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man. The Lord cares about Black, Hispanics, and Native Indians. And that's the reason why the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge is out there on the street teaching this, man. Teaching this brotherhood. That's why the brother is bringing out a heavy point. You got that for me? Yeah, go ahead.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 13, verse 6.
Go ahead.
If he have need of thee.
If he has need of thee, go ahead.
He will deceive thee.
He will deceive thee. That's exactly what our oppressors do. Right. That's what the men are, even our religious leaders, that's what they do to us today too. Right. You understand? When they need us, what do? They do what?
He will deceive thee.
They lie to you. They tell you what they're going to do. That's what Barack Obama did. Right. That's what Jesse Jackson does. Right. That's what Al Sharpton does. That's what all of these oppressors do. That's what all of even our own damn people do. Yeah, you understand? That's why we got to rely on ourselves. Keep going.
Come. And smile upon thee.
And he'll smile. That's what all the politicians do. They smile at us. They make these big old campaign videos and they say, hey, we're going to help Black people. We're going to get you. We're going to give you money and we're going to increase this and fix this up and make the projects look better and we're going to do all this, and they smile in your face, man. Right.
And put thee in hope.
And they put you in hope. They put you in hope. Every politician, every man is always giving the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians hope. Trying to give us hope.
Come.
You know what I'm saying? Telling us how they're going to fix our situations, man. Keep going.
Come. He will speak thee fair.
He's going to speak thee fair. Meaning he's going to say them sweet words. Remember the scripture says his words was smoother than butter?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He's going to speak fair to thee. He's going to talk to you like your friends.
Right.
Like what Donald Trump does when he tries to act like he really cares about the African American communities.
Good night.
You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Come. And say, what wantest thou?
And he says, what wantest thou? Meaning, what do you want? What can I give you? You see, and that's what we do. We get out there and we vote and we say, oh yeah, we're gonna vote for him. We're gonna get him involved with the black and Cuban community because guess what? He's gonna fix the projects.
Right.
He's gonna get all of the incarcerated brothers out of jail. That's what we want him to do. That's why we're voting for him. That's what we're doing. We're letting him know that, hey, if we vote for you, we want you to let all of the incarcerated out of jail, man. All the unrighteously judged out of jail, man.
Right.
Keep going.
And he will shame thee by his meats.
And he will shame thee by his meats, man. Keep going.
Until he have drawn thee dry.
Until he drawn you dry. Keep going.
Twice or thrice. And at the last, he will laugh thee to scorn afterward.
In other words, he's not going to do anything that he wants you, that he said he's going to do, but he's going to drain every single last bit of what he can out of you just so that he can look good.
Right.
And guess what you're left with? Nothing, man.
Right.
You're left with nothing.
Come.
You understand? And he gets exactly one. That's why blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians need to understand and learn loyalty, come back together under the I.S.U.P.K. and so that we can fix our own damn ghetto.
Right.
Get our own people off of the street. Get our brothers up out of the prison system. Get Pookie off of drugs.
Right.
You know, get the sister out of the strip clubs.
Right.
And get her off the goddamn the prostitute strip.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's the only way that's gonna happen, man.
Come.
That's all I had to say on that. It's a lot.
Come. Watch sir for that. You understand? Like, and going back to the politicians, man. You understand? Like, how do they gain those votes, man? You understand? Like, and this is just so down low, man, and just so dirty, man. They run into them Christian churches, man, and they go to them pastors and they say, hey, man, just let me get 15 minutes up there, man. And then, they sit up there, give a little jacked up speech, and then what they do, man, they go ahead, go to the next church, man.
That's right.
And if they're in their choir or whatnot, like the church is in a choir, they, like the politician, he'll sit there, and think like he know the song and dance. All for what, man? All for a vote, man. To do what? To just further oppress blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? If I could, sir, if you don't mind, to go ahead, get Romans 9 and 13.
Come.
If you don't mind, sir. You understand? Because we need to realize, man, that this hatred, man, you understand, it started with the Most High, man, and it needs to trickle down and dwell down to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man. You understand? Because, because our oppressor, man, he just has that hatred for us, man. So we need to direct our hatred towards him and not our brothers and sisters, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because we need to love our brothers and sisters, man. Because that's what the Most High does, man. He loves blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man. Romans chapter 9 and verse 13.
Come, I got it for you.
Come.
The book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 13. As it is written.
Yes, as it is written, man. Meaning, of course, when you do see that, as it is written, it's meaning that it's in the Old Testament, man. Keep going.
Jacob have I loved.
You know what I'm saying? Of course, that's the 12 tribes of Israel, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Keep going.
But Esau have I hated.
Man, listen, man, we need to stop dating these white women as well, too, man.
Right.
Shalagi, our oppressor women, Shalagi. You know what I'm saying? Like, haven't we learned from Tiger Woods, man? Didn't we learn from OJ? You know what I'm saying? Bill Cosby, he's on an everlasting vacation right now, man. Dealing with our oppressor, man.
Right.
We need to realize, man, that we need to be separate from them, man. Because they bring nothing but just more hatred on ourselves, man. You know what I'm saying? Because the Most High said that he loves blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man. And of course, and this is a bedrock scripture, man, but it's so evident in the black community. Why? Because it's not in the black community, man. And we need to bring it back to the black community so we can continue to fix ourselves, man. Because we all that we truly have.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? Because once again, this is coming out the scriptures, man. This is not coming out of my mouth. You understand? We just live it and we see it day in and day out, man, and it gets us angry.
Damn right.
And we should be able to take that anger and fix our people, man. Because the Most High said that this is one of our duties.
That's right.
To love Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man. And one of the true characteristics of that is to have a perfect hatred for our oppressor.
Right.
The person that put us in slavery, man. The person that raped and robbed us, man. The person that invited us to do drugs and to sell drugs.
That's right.
To be a stripper, to be a whore and a whoremonger, man, and be a homosexual, man, and be a transgender. Good night, man. A transgender? Who made us this way, man? That's a question that we truly need to ask ourselves that, man. Who made Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians this way, man? I can only think of one person, man. Our oppressor. Because he is truly the greatest deceiver that is walking this place right now, man. And he knows that his time is short, so he's moving swiftly, man. He's moving quick. So what we have to do, we have to counter that with more quickness and more love for our brothers and sisters, man. Because the scripture says it, man. If we can drop that, we can get Psalm chapter 139. You know what I'm saying? We need to realize, man, and we have to continue to do this, man. We have to have a residual cycle of loving our brothers and sisters, man, because they have a residual cycle of pushing, pushing hatred throughout our community, man.
That's right.
So we have to counteract that, man, some way and somehow, man. And like the Ottawa was saying, it can only be done in the I.S.U.P.K under the righteous rulership of Commander General YAHANNA, man. You know what I'm saying? Because we understand ourselves, man. You know what I'm saying? Because we were once those ex-gangbangers, man. Those ex-felons, man. Those ex-whores and whoremongers, man. So we understand exactly what you're truly going through, man. You know what I'm saying? We have so much things set up, man. We have a prison department, man. You know what I'm saying? We have counselors, man, within our school, man, that will be able to help and guide you and assist you through everything that you're going through, man. You know what I'm saying? Because we have, our generals and captains and the man that's over these cities, man. They have the toolage, man, to be able to help and guide you through everything that you're going through, man. But what you have to do, man, you have to do your 90 days, man. You have to show yourself approved, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because we can't want this for you. Of course, we want it for all of Israel, man.
Right.
But no, man. You have to show that you want to change, man. You have to continue, like it said within our protocol, to continue to shed yourselves of the world, man.
That's right.
And we're continuing to do this as we're in this truth, man. We're continually battling our oppressor, man. But we have to continue to shed ourselves of the world and get that guidance and get that counseling and get that advice that will literally save your life, man. Right. Your life is truly, literally one phone call away from true salvation, man.
That's right.
And that salvation is from who? From our oppressor, man.
Right.
You understand? Because our oppressor, he does not want us to understand the mysteries of this Bible, man.
That's right.
He don't want us to understand that. So what is he going to do? Of course, he's going to counter that with more and more confusion.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? More and more homosexuality, man. You know what I'm saying? I was bringing out in a couple classes ago, man, in the state of Alabama, man. They are pushing so hard for schools to be opened up to the LGBT community, man. You know what I'm saying? Like we found out last year, the beginning of last year, that the whole state of Illinois, that it's a requirement for them to teach LGBT community classes, man.
In other words, if I could,
Sir.
in this empire, they're forcing that on our children, man. And this how you know we're not living inside the Lord's empire. This is how you know we're not in our kingdom. This is how you know we're in hell.
Right.
Because in the Lord's empire, in the Lord's kingdom, ain't gonna be no homosexuality, man. Ain't gonna be no LGBTQRS, whatever the hell you want to call it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We gonna be in a kingdom where that type of behavior, you get put to death for it, man. We're gonna live in a masculine society where men are gonna be men and women are gonna be feminine. And that's just the way it's going to be.
Right.
They're going to continue trying to force that on our kids, man. And the reason why the brothers teaching this class, man, is to show you that we have to come and unite in brotherhood. We got to depend on ourselves.
Right.
Depend on our nation and depend on this truth, man. You know what I'm saying? We got to depend on the words that Christ came and taught years ago, man.
Sir.
You know what I'm saying? So we can pull together, you know what I'm saying, and get up from under this yoke of iron that our oppressors have us under. You know what I'm saying? So then our children won't be vulnerable to such things as LGBT.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's all I have to say on that.
Come on, sir. And because, you know what I'm saying, like you were clapping up for our one. You know what I'm saying? And that's just so heavy, man. You know what I'm saying? Because what that does to our youth is just like that they have to accept it now. It's like their normal way of living. You know what I'm saying? Like how we wake up and we brush our teeth. Oh, well, you know, they wake up and say, oh, it's okay to be a homosexual, or it's okay to be what Dwayne Wade said his daughter was, or son, a straight transgender. What type of term have we come to, man? A straight transgender, man. I mean, like haven't they pushed this agenda on us so long, man, that we should come to realization, man, that they are pushing this on our youth and on our teenagers, man.
Right.
Why, man? Because they don't want us to populate, man. You said they truly do not want us to populate, man. You said like they want to depopulate us, man. What did Margaret Sanger says, man? You said she literally wanted to exterminate the black race, man. And who was our adversary, man? Hillary Clinton, man. She called us super predators, man. A super predator? No, man. She's the true, she's the true super predator, man.
Right.
Her and her filthy husband, man, of Bill Clinton, man.
Right.
They are filthy, man. What they did over there to Haiti, man, that should go in the records, man. But it's just so hidden, man. They just took everything from Haiti, man. Already poor, and they just want to continue to take, man, and then have the audacity to say, man, and this is how you know our oppressor is the true deceiver on this planet, man. They call a Red Cross, man, and then say have a donation, man. And what does Red Cross do with all that money, man? I done read so many articles, man, where Red Cross would go to these third world countries, of course, within the 12 tribes of Israel, and they would build 1 or 2 houses and pocket the rest of the money, man. Literally pocket the rest of the money, man. This is how we know, man, that we should be separate, man. We should have our own grocery stores, man. We should have our own communities, man. We should have our own basketball league, football league, man. Do you got, Psalm 139 and 21?
Come. The book of Psalms, chapter 139, verse 21. Do not I hate them, O Lord, that hate thee.
You understand? Of course, man, this is David speaking, man. You understand? One of the brothers of brothers, man, saying, man, if our oppressor, so like if you hate our it's like if the Most High hates our oppressor, so should he, man. And this is the same mindset that we should have to this day, man. If the Most High hates our oppressor, then so should we, man. Of course, you understand, like, we do have to do it in the most professional way. Of course, you understand, like, we're not going out, we're not saying go out and do harm to our oppressor, man. But just be separate, man. Don't follow his ways, man. Stop eating pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster, what they look at as a delicacy, man. Let them have it, man. You sound like, don't eat raw meats, man. Like the Moabites in Ammon, man. I mean, like, look what's going on with Moab right now, man.
Right.
They got that coronavirus just everywhere, man. And it's coming over here within the U.S., man. Like, listen, man, we need to realize, man, that we need to separate. We need to be separate from our oppressor, man, and from all these other heathens, man. Any more on that, sir?
God. And am not I grieved with those that raise up against thee? Mm-hmm. Verse 22. I hate them with perfect hatred.
Man, he said what?
I hate them with perfect hatred.
Yes, and like, we need to realize, man, George Bush was governor in Texas, man. He thought that that his people, you know what I'm saying, would love us so much, man. And like we brought up that article earlier, man, that brother that had got drugged, man, and his torso was just laying on the side of a ditch down there in Texas 20 years ago, and his head and his arm was a mile apart, man. Come on now, man. We need to truly realize, man, that our oppressor is not with us, man, and he's not for us, man.
Right.
And that's just one instance, man, of that brother. What was the brother name again? Let me get that. It was James Byrd Jr., man, down there in Jasper, Texas, man. And this happened, and just to just show you how they try to hide these articles, man. It's like you have to do so much research to find these articles, man. This happened. Give me 1 second here. This happened in 1998, man, and I had to dig a little bit deep just to find one of these articles, man, because they tried to hide this, man, from us, man, because they say, man, the best thing to the best way to get a person not to read is do what, man? Put it within a book or make it harder for them to be able to find it, man. You know, saying now it's to the point where you actually got to type in like keywords or like key phrases just to find exactly what you're looking for, man.
Right.
And what does that do, man? That further confuses us, man. Further confuses us. If we can get verse 22 from the top again, if you don't mind, sir.
The book of Psalms, chapter 139, verse 22. I hate them with perfect hatred.
So he hate them with a perfect hatred. Keep going.
I count them my enemies.
Man, he count them as what?
My enemies.
My friends, man.
My enemies.
My home girl.
My enemies.
Oh, man, that's my brother, man.
My enemies.
Oh, you know what? We work together, so I have to hang out with them after work.
I count them my enemies.
As my enemies, man. And this is the righteous hatred that we have to have for our oppressor, man. You see, because the Most High hates them, man. I mean, look at these third world countries, man. I mean, like, look at the condition of a black man right now, man. Right. We are truly in hell, man. We live from paycheck to paycheck, man. You're saying you should hate them because the Most High hate them, man. You know what I'm saying? And they are there, and they are the true enemies, man. And this is why we should look at our brothers and sisters, man. You know what I'm saying? And we should look at them with just so much love and just so much compassion on them because of what our oppressor has done in the past and what he's doing in the present and what he has planned for us in the future, man. Because this right here, man, what we're experiencing right now is just, of course, just a tip of the iceberg, man. Like Commander YAHANNA say always, man. You know what I'm saying? We are truly living in our last days, man.
Damn right.
So all these plagues and all these curses that is continuing on, Black Spanish and Native Indians, man, that should draw us near one another, man. To care for one another, man. To love one another, man. If we can get Obadiah, and we're gonna start at verse 2. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to truly raise up our kids, man, and our youth to realize who our oppressor really is and what he has done to the black community, man, and what he has done to our brothers and sisters, man. Because there's no way he can love us, man. There's no way that he's willingly joining hand in hand with us, man. He used so much trickery and so many devices, man, that we don't even see, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're looking on TV, man. I mean, like, we look at these cartoons, man, like, they just do it so hiddenly, man. They just do it so hiddenly, man. And this is something that we need to protect our youth from, man.
Damn right.
You know what I'm saying? Because they see the commercials. They see, of course, I think about the commercial where, what was that one commercial when I think it was like a Walmart commercial, and it was doing like they were promoting a what that telephone, like telephone, and of course, you know, like, they had a sister there you know, like she kept on calling, you know, what's supposed to be her man, and you know, I'm just thinking that it's going to be a brother, man. You understand? So of course, I mean, like they do it in so much of a trickery way, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you see when the guy finally picks up the phone, he try to sound all smooth like he a brother or whatnot, and then he shows his face. It's an oppressor, man.
Right.
And what they do, of course, with these commercials as well too, is they try to implement homosexuality so rampant, man. Like they have these what's the word from these arousal pills, you know what I'm saying, as far as, you know, to promote it, but they will have, you know, as far as a straight couple, and it will be either a black person in our oppressor, you know, like whether it's a black man or black woman with our oppressor. And then they will just slide in a transgender, or they will slide in a homosexual with our oppressor, man. You're saying these are this is something that we truly need to protect our youth from, man. And not only that, man, like us as parents, man, as far as Black, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man, this is something that we need to hold on to, man, and hide from our children, man, because they are going to be tricked, man, into something that is just literally going to wow you and just literally going to amaze you, man. A straight transgender, man. We just need to really let that sink in, man. A straight transgender, man. Saying that, oh, well, you know, he was, you know, she was born a girl, you know, but now he's a boy, so now he can like girls. Come on, man. And that's just the tip of the iceberg, man. We got that scripture, sir, if you don't mind?
Oh, kind.
Do you have any comments or anything? Okay, like always.
The book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 2. Mm-hmm. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen.
You know what I'm saying? Our oppressor is small, man. It's just so small, man. But, man, we cannot despise the smaller, man. Of course, you know, like as far as them, we're talking about the Japanese, Ammon, and Moab. Keep going.
Come. Thou art greatly despised.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 3. The pride of thy heart have deceived thee.
You know what I'm saying? The pride of their hearts, man, have deceived us, man. You know what I'm saying? What can our oppressor do to the black man? What can our oppressor do that black people would die from, man? Like, truly think about that, man. What can our oppressor do to the black man? To black people, let's just keep it general. Black people would die for it, man.
Right.
I mean, like, let's just truly think about that. What can our oppressor do that black people would die from, man? I can give a couple, and we brought it out earlier. You know, gentrification, man.
Right.
You know, like as we talk about, of course, you know, like we see them all throughout our hoods and our neighborhoods. But if we go out there to their neighborhoods, then we're going to be looked upon as, you know, as just nothing. They're going to call the cops on us, and what's going to happen, man? The cops going to kill us, man, on sight, man. Just on sight. Just like they did Trayvon Martin, man. What George Zimmerman said in one of his in that documentary, and I always advise on this documentary, man. You know what I'm saying? Like that Trayvon Martin documentary, you can find that on BET, and I believe certain part of it is on YouTube, man. Man, listen, man. That documentary, man, will literally, man, almost have you in tears, man. Because you can literally hear Trayvon Martin in the background saying, "No, don't shoot me. Don't shoot me. Or don't harm me, don't harm me." And the way our oppressor is, man, like they try to wingle it and say that was George Zimmerman's voice, man. So if you could, on your free time, of course, you know, when you do have time, man, check out that documentary, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's on BET, And certain parts of it is on YouTube. You understand? So, you understand? Of course, like we were just saying, like we can walk past, they can walk past our hoods and in our neighborhoods and just looked upon as, okay, well that's just Becky riding her tricycle,
right.
or that's just John walking his dog.
Right.
But when Pookie and Keisha, they go out to the hoods, oh man, she looked upon as a hoe, or man, like what is he doing here?
Right.
He's going to rob us. So what must we do? We must call what? We must call 911.
Right.
To the Savior, man. You understand? You understand? Like don't let. You understand what we're seeing in our neighborhoods. If he said it, a lot. Like as far as happened to what's going on in their neighborhoods, man. You know what I'm saying? We should be gentrifying their neighborhoods, man. Because who built it, man? The Hispanics built their neighborhoods, man.
Damn right.
So the Hispanics should be in their neighborhoods, man. You know what I'm saying? Like we built our hoods, you know what I'm saying, and we're still in our hoods, man.
Right.
But we don't have, the fancy Publix. We don't have all of these, the Earth Fairs, or these fancy restaurants or anything in that nature, man. What we get stuck with, man? We get stuck with a corner store that's selling nothing but abominable food to us, man.
Right.
You go into these corner stores, man, it's just pork fried, man. Pork rinds, ham hocks. You understand? All within the black community, man. Why, man? And you know what's and to make insult to injury, man. The people that's selling it, they don't even eat pork, man.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Them East Indians, man, they don't even eat the pork, man. That's how you know, man, that their hatred for us, man, is just so strong, man.
Right.
They even have the East Indians in our hoods, man, selling all these abominable things to us, and then what, man? Just continuing on and on and on. You got something to say, sir?
I was gonna bring out something that's so heavy. And our oppressors start bringing all these different heathens into our neighborhoods, and they start having the same type of hatred that our oppressors have for us. Hating our women, hating our men, looking at us like we're nothing, when we're the ones that make them thrive in their stores.
Sir. You know what I'm saying? And like we have to look at them as they are, man. You know what I'm saying? Like they come from the Caucasus Mountains, man. They are the true cave beasts, man. They are the true animals, man.
Damn right.
You know what I'm saying? Like this is, this is just what they do, man. You know what I'm saying? Like they just continue to hunt us, man. You know what I'm saying? Like we need to truly, like we've been saying all class, man. We need to truly love ourselves, man.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Who's going to truly bring us down, man?
Right.
We can't have us as far as Black, Spanish, and Native Indians bringing us down, man. You know what I'm saying? Like we have to, of course, love so-called Black, Spanish, and Native Indians, man, and we have to prefer our brother and sister over these nations, man, over these heathen customs, man. You know what I'm saying? It is not true double Dutch, man. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't have 1 foot in and 1 foot out with this, man. You have to be full-fledged with this, man. Why, man? Because Christ was full-fledged for his brothers and sisters, man, all the way up to that cross, man. And brotherhood and sisterhood is all throughout this Bible, man. You understand? And what I'm gonna do while we just take one break, I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna read a part of this article here one more time, and just so it can sink in, man, for the people that actually came in late. I'm gonna get to the part when the district attorney was saying, man. You know what I'm saying? So this is the district attorney. His name was Guy James Gray of the Jasper County District Attorney. He had called the killing probably the most brutal I've ever seen in 20 years as a prosecutor. Mr. Bird's torso was found at the edge of a paved road, man. His torso was found at the edge of a paved road, man. Meaning, man, that they did not care about this brother, man, at all, man. And he said his head and an arm, not arms, one of his arms, man, in a ditch about a mile away, man. And this was according to the affidavit, man.
Right.
You understand? Come. The what, sir? You understand? Because we need to realize, man, since they have a perfect hatred for us, we need to counter that once again, man, with a perfect hatred for them, man. Because they do not care for us, man, and they do not, and they just do it just no nonchalantly, man. I mean, like, we see it all throughout America, man. Like, we see it all throughout mainstream media, man. And if we just sidebar just real quick on mainstream media, you understand? Like, with the whole social media, man. Like, social media is, as far as Facebook and Facebook mainly. You understand? Like, when it first came out, man, it was just mainly for marketing purposes only, man. Now, man, we see recording of live videos, brothers beating brothers. You understand? Like, you can see, sisters having fights.
That's right.
All throughout social media, man. This is a trick in a device, man, that they are using on us, man, to control us, man. To what? To mind control us, man. And how do we do that, man? We revert that by clearing our mind, man. You understand? Like the scripture's talking about as far as having a clear mind, man. What is that having a clear mind of? Not the water, sir. You understand? Having that clear mind of our heathen customs, man. Of all of their ways, man. One second here. I'm trying to look for that scripture. So I'm not having a clear mind. You know what I'm saying? Because this, man, this is very, very true, man. You know what I'm saying? And this is exactly what we have to do to be able to fight our oppressor, man. Here we go. If we could get Romans chapter 7 and verse 21. You know what I'm saying? Because they have a duty on us, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have their dues, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have, you know what I'm saying? Like, as far as their constitution, man. You got that scripture, sir, if you don't mind?
The book of Romans chapter 7 verse 21. I find then a law that when I will do good, evil is present with me.
You know what I'm saying? Of course, you know what I'm saying? Of course, when we want to do good, you know what I'm saying? Evil is just all around us, man. So how do we do that? So how do we counter that, man? We have to turn our evil and we have to do good, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to have that clear mindset, man. Keep going.
So, verse 22. For I delight in the law of God after the inward man.
You know what I'm saying? We truly, as Black Hispanics and Native Indians, we truly have kind hearts, man. Like, we truly want to do right, man.
Right.
But we're just stuck in a world that's not ours, man. Keep going.
Verse 23. But I see another law in my members, warring against the law of my mind.
You're saying going against, man, meaning, man, it's a conflict between the two, man. Meaning, man, you're at a constant battle, man, between wanting to do right and following the heathen customs, man.
Right.
So how do you fight that, man? You fight that by, of course, man, making sure that you're staying in class, man, making sure that you are getting these scriptures broken down by a true priest and prophet in the UPK, man. You know what I'm saying? Because we have the toolage and information, man, that has been going on since 1969, man.
That's right.
And no one else can say that, man. You say no one else can say that they are true, the home of the truth, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Of course, you have these fake Israelite groups. You have GMS say that, you know, that they have the truth, but in the same sentence, they say that it's okay to molest kids, man. Come on now, man. We need to realize, man, that what we are warring against, man, it all starts within having a clear mindset, man. Having that clear mind and having that understanding, man.
That's right.
Because if we don't have that understanding of who our oppressor is, man, we're just going to gradually go on with their heathen custom in their ways, man. and we're going to be warring against it, just like the scripture says, man. It's going to be like a conflict. It's going to be a constant battle, man.
That's right.
Just a continual, constant battle with, oh, man, okay, well, within my DNA, you know what I'm saying? Within what I'm supposed to do, I want to do right. You know what I'm saying? I always use that Latin term, educare, means to educe, means to bring out what's already in us, man.
Right.
It's in us. It's in our bloodline. It's within our DNA that we are an Israelites. But what, man? We're warring, man. We're warring against something that we have no idea what we're warring against, man. And the only way to do that, man, is to continue to shed yourself of the world. Continue to have that clear mind, man.
Right.
Because if not, man, you're going to be doomed and you're not going to do nothing but fail yourself in your people, man.
Right.
And then you're truly going to be a good example of how Donald Trump wants to make America great again, man. If we can get it from top.
Come. The book of Romans, chapter 7, verse 21.
Mm-hmm.
I find then a law that when I will do good, evil is present with me.
Uh-huh.
Verse 22. For I delight in the law of God after the inward man.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 23, but I see another law in my members, warring against the law of my mind,
Man.
and bringing me into captivity to the law
Good
of
night,
sin,
man.
which is slop,
Nah, keep going, sir, if you don't mind.
which is in my members.
Man, which is in my members, man. Good night, man. Which is just throughout the members of Israel, man. It's just like we just truly accept it, man. Just like we was talking about as far as with homosexuality and that LGBT crap, it's just accepted, man.
Right.
To the point where like your mind it just literally accepts it. You know what I'm saying? Like your mind literally accepts that, oh, it's okay to be a lesbian. Your mind accepts that it's okay to eat pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster. Your mind says, okay, well, you know, my pastor knows exactly what he's saying. He know exactly that that's the truth, man.
Right.
Your mindset accepts that, man. You know what I'm saying? Like your mindset, your mindset accepts the kundalini and the chakras, man. You understand?
Right.
That's what your mindset accepts, man. Your mindset's almost to the point where you believe that there's no God at all, man.
Right.
All because of what, man? All because of these trickery devices that our oppressor has plagued on us, man. And we have to continue to fight, man, day in and day out, man, to realize, man, that our oppressor, man, this is his duty, man. So our duty is, of course, man, once again, man, to have a righteous hatred towards him, man, because the Most High has a perfect hatred for him, man. If we can drop that, if we can get Ecclesiastes chapter 9 and verse 10.
And if I could also add,
sir.
And to tie that into brotherhood, you know, brotherhood is how you want to truly show, brotherhood is how you going to truly hate your enemy, man.
Right, come on.
Like, because in order to truly love another black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, in order to truly love a brother, you know, strung out on drugs, crack cocaine, and in order to truly love that brother who has nobody left, but he's in the prison system. You know, in order to truly love, you know, that veteran who, you know what I'm saying, went and fought the white man's wars, and now he's strung out there on the streets, ain't got nobody in his life, and out there just dying of all kinds of illnesses, can't get no benefits. In order to truly love these people, man, you gotta absolutely hate your oppressor. Now, that's not to say you gotta go out there and put your hands on your oppressor, because that's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about abhorring an Edomite. Well, the Lord commanded us not to abhor an Edomite, right? But what we're talking about is hating his ways, man.
Right.
What we're talking about is not eating pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster. What we're talking about is not celebrating Christmas, Easter, Halloween, and all 9 yards. You understand? What we're talking about is not going and voting for his leaders.
Right.
What we're talking about is coming together in unity and brotherhood of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians under Christ, man. You know what I'm saying? And that is the only way you can truly hate your oppressor. You understand? it boggles my mind why our people believe that we can fight for our people through their political system.
Right.
You can't do it.
Right.
You cannot fight for our people through their political system.
Right.
You understand? You have to fight for Black, Hispanics, and Native Indians. There's only one way to do it. And that is you have to follow law, statutes, and commandments. You have to come up under this UPK banner.
Right.
You have to follow Christ. Because Christ is the only man that perfectly walked this earth that was able to truly love a Black, Hispanic, Native Indian man, truly heal them and show them mercy. And he sat with men just like us.
Right.
Sat with men that were incarcerated. Sat with men who had killed. Men who have, committed all kinds of sins. He sat with them and he said, listen, you have to love this brother. You have to love this sister. You have to go and do righteous to the poor. You understand? You have to give all to give your love to the poor, man.
Come.
You understand? And that's how you defeat your enemy, man. Because white society, Salakia, our oppressors they can't thrive if we are a nation that works together and love each other and are in unity. You know what I'm saying? So when we come into unity, watch how the Lord is with us and watch how America topples, man. Right. Watch how it comes to its destruction. That's all I had to say on that.
Sir.
Somebody, you said that was Ecclesiasticus?
Ecclesiastes chapter, I believe it was chapter 9 and verse 10. Come, you go ahead, sir.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 9, verse 10. Whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might.
Yeah, so you have to do this with all your might, man. You have to love your brothers and sisters with all your might, man. You have to have that righteous hatred for your oppressor with what?
With all thy might.
With all thy might, man.
Yeah, right.
You know, so you have to raise your kids with what?
Thy might.
To have that righteous hatred towards our oppressor, man. You say you have to raise up our kids to love our brothers and sisters with what?
Thy might.
With all thy might, man. And this is inevitable, man, within the Black community, man, because we truly hate ourselves, man, as a nation, man.
Right.
This is how we overcome it, man. We need to do all these things with all our might, man.
Damn right.
We need to have that love, man. That true compassion, man. That true long suffering, man. Mm-hmm. Consider that brother or a sister of low estate, man, and meet them exactly where they're at, man. And when you do it, man, you have to do it with all of your mights, man, because you have no idea, man. You may have a little bit of idea of what they may be going through, man, but once that person is able to open up to you, man, then you'll be able to realize exactly what they've been going through, man.
Right.
And you will get calls and phone calls, and sisters and brothers will just call you. And man, like it would just mind goggle you, man, because the brothers and sisters, they may seem like they have it all together, man, but once they start opening up and crying to you, I mean, like, we preaching here, man.
That's
you know
right.
what I'm saying? Like, we understand these phone calls that we do receive, man. Right. And it shocked me on one of my first calls that I've ever received on Facebook. You understand? Like, man, like sisters just call, brothers and sisters just call and just crying. I was like, man, like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Like, let me get you contacted with the camp leader that's in your area, man. But how can I assist you at this given point, man? All because why, man? All because we're pushing this truth, man.
Damn right.
And we're only going to find this within the I.S.U.P.K under Commander General YAHANNA, man, because he truly cares for his people, man. And it has trickled down from the generals, the captains, to the officers, to the troopers and the sisters, man, within this community, man. Because why? Because we do it with all our might, man. Because we truly love Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man. And we know how to care for them, man.
That's right.
But, of course, and we're always going to reiterate this, man. We can't want this truth for you, man. This is something that you have to put forth all your might as well, too, man.
Damn right.
You can't be 1 foot in and 1 foot out, man, and just expect handouts, man. No, man. You have to show thyself approved, man. You saying, like, you have to get within these schools, man. You have to get within these classes, man, and get that understanding, man. So what, man? So you'll be able to go out and help your brothers and sisters, man.
That's right.
That were in the same, if not lower estate that you are or were, man. And this is one of our sole duties, man. To separate, man, from our oppressor, man. Because if not, man, we're going to do nothing but be warring against one another, man.
Damn right.
And that's not what Christ did not die for that, man.
That's right.
Christ died for true brotherhood and sisterhood to dwell, man, till he returns, man.
Damn right.
And this is something that, just like the scripture is saying, we must do this with all of our might, man, and all of our understanding to the point where we bleed brotherhood and sisterhood.
That's right.
We bleed wanting to help one another out, man.
Damn right.
And this is our sole duty, man. This is one of our sole duties, man.
That's right.
This is exactly what we signed up for, man. Because did not Christ sign up for it, man?
Right.
Ain't not this not what the Most High signed up for, man? This is not what the priests and prophets of the Lord signed up for, man? So do your duty, man, and get the understanding, man, and get the toolage and be able to overcome this hellish condition that we have as a nation, man.
And if I could, man, the brother bringing out something heavy, man, if I could, the most revolutionary thing you could ever do is just love a brother, man.
Come on, sir.
It's to love a sister, man. You know, we always, you know, the Black Panthers, they go out, they rally around with their guns and stuff and, you know, make their little threats and stuff. And, you know, the Nation of Islam, they do that 1,000,000-man march. And everybody's throwing up the black fist and saying, revolution, revolution, revolution. Right. But you don't understand that you can't defeat your enemies when you're separated, man.
Right.
You can't defeat your enemies when there is no loyalty and brotherhood.
Come on.
The most revolutionary thing you can do is care for the goddamn poor.
Right.
The most revolutionary thing you can do is feed a brother who has nothing. You know what I'm saying? And have your brother back, man.
Right.
Matter of fact, the most revolutionary thing you can do is put your life on the line for a brother, man. Right. That's in the scriptures.
Come on.
You said there's no greater love, man, right?
Damn right.
You understand?
Come on, sir.
So now, that is revolution, man, and that's what brotherhood is really all about.
Right.
This brother bringing out a heavy topic, and that's how I know. That's why brotherhood is one of my favorite topics, man. Because it's just an amazing thing that if we understood that this nation can be put back together, if we all came up under one banner, man, and we serve the Lord, our enemies will cripple our enemies all around this world, man. We'll never have to worry about crack cocaine on any corner. We'll never have to worry about incarceration anywhere, man. We'll never have to worry about not having a goddamn penny or a piss or a pot to piss in, you know what I'm saying, in a window to throw it out of, man. You'll always have it. As long as you have brothers who is here, who is willing to serve and love you, man, and protect you. You know what I'm saying? That's the brotherhood, and I love it to death, man.
Most sacrifice to one, sir.
I love it to death.
Right, sir. What scripture was we at, sir? I'm trying to a couple more in.
Ecclesiastes chapter 9, verse 10.
Yeah, let's get it from the top, and then we're gonna try to get a couple more in.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 9, verse 10. Whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might. For there is no work, nor device, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave.
In the what?
In the grave.
Man, meaning, man, when you die, man, that's it, man. Of course, you know, understand, like, we do understand reincarnation within the Bible. You know what I'm saying? But this scripture is saying, man, why not while you're on this earth right now? You know what I'm saying? Like, while you're not in this hellish condition right now, everything that you do it in the most righteous way possible.
That's right.
And look out for your brothers, man.
Damn right.
You know what I'm saying? Look out for your sisters, man. Look out for the youth, man. And how do we do that, man? We need to be separate, man.
Damn right.
That's the only way, man, we're going to be able to overcome them, man, is we be separate, man.
That's right.
We can't be eating pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster, celebrate all these abominable holidays, and following the way of the heathens, man. Why, man? Just like the scripture says, man, like the blind leading the blind to the what, man? Straight to a ditch, man.
Damn right.
Just straight to a ditch, man. And just like the scripture says, man, like those join hand in hand, man. That's something that we should not be doing, man. Deuteronomy 76, man, says that, man, we are holy, man. And holy means separate, man. And the Most High chose us, man. And he says in the scriptures, man, that we are above all these nations, man, that are upon the face of the earth, man. Why, man? Because he handpicked us, man. Because he knew that we were a peculiar people, man. And he wanted that perfection that he has to dwell with us, man. Just like that, that perfection dwells within us, man. You know what I'm saying? Right. Because the Most High says, of course, man, when you come up under His banner, man, you are a new creature, man. That's right. All those old things, man, all those old ways you has, it's just in the past now, man. Now you're getting the new toolage that you'll be understand, that you'll be able to help Pookie get off drugs, man. You'll be able to help Starkeisha to stop stripping, man, and tell her to cover herself up, man. You'll be able to understand why it's important not to sleep with another man's wife, man, or vice versa, man. You'll be able to get that understanding to the point where it's just like you waking up and brushing your teeth, man. That's how you become separate from them, man. That's just one, man, one of many, man. The list goes on and on things that we can do to separate from our oppressor, man.
Damn right.
So we'll be able to build up the kingdom of heaven, man. That's our sole duty, man. If we can drop that, if we can get Matthew chapter 13 and verse 19.
Come.
You know what I'm saying? Because we need to realize, man, when the true priests and prophets of the Lord is speaking, man, to don't take it for granted, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Make sure that you have your notes, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I was a young man and student, and even now, man, like, I had notebooks, man. You know, like, I had Monday, I knew, you know what I'm saying? Like, Monday was a history class, you know, or a scripture breakdown class. Tuesday was a brotherhood class. Wednesday was a law class. Thursday was a scripture breakdown class. And Friday was a Lashawan Kadash. And then Saturday was a Sabbath service, man. You should have a notebook for each day, man, and be able to take down all these notes, man, so you'll be able to get the toolage, man, so you'll be able to overcome your hellish condition that you're living in, man.
Right.
That's right.
Sir.
SHALAM, you said Matthew chapter 13, verse 9.
Verse 19, Shalayer.
Come on, I got that for you.
Come on, you got it, sir.
The book of Matthew chapter 13, verse 19. When anyone hears the word of the kingdom.
You know what I'm saying? When anyone hears the word of the Most High, meaning the kingdom, keep going.
Come. And understand it not.
You know what I'm saying? Meaning, man, that, you know, like, once you hear this, of course, you know, like, it's going to be like, oh, man, like, what is this? I don't understand this at all, man. Keep going.
Then come the wicked.
You know what I'm saying? Then comes social media, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Then comes the quote unquote real housewives of Atlanta. Right. Or the basketball wives, or social media, Facebook, MySpace, so I ain't on MySpace no more. Instagram. I'm too old, sir. Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, all these devices, man. Keep going.
Come. And catcheth away that which was sown in his heart.
Man, which was catching away that was sown in his heart, man, meaning that he understood it, meaning that something caught his eye and he was able to understand it, meaning, man, that he understand, like we brought up earlier, man, this is within our DNA to understand these scriptures, man. You know what I'm saying? Because the scriptures is within parables, man. Like the scripture says, precept upon precept and line upon line, man. This Bible is only for Black, Spaniards, and Native Indians, man. You know what I'm saying? Because we understand these scriptures, man. Because it's only for us, man. So we understand these parables, man. And we're under, of course, if you're a true priest and prophet of the Lord, you'll be able to understand and teach these parables, man.
Right.
That's how you know, man, that our wicked one, meaning our oppressor, they just going to go hard to just further confuse us, to further catch our hearts, meaning our understanding, man. To do what? To understand their ways, man. And that's how you know, man, that he is the greatest deceiver that has ever walked this place, man. He is the greatest deceiver, man. Right. And you have to, I mean, like, man, it just saddens me, man, but like he has it on lock, man. You understand? Like, as far as deceiving our brothers and sisters, man, because we just gladly accept it, man. We just gladly accept everything that our oppressor says, man. Everything Donald Trump has said, man. Everything Bill Clinton has said, man. everything that your Christian pastor has said, man. You just gladly accept it, man.
That's right.
Why, man? Why do we have to accept what's truly ordained for us, man? And it's just almost to the point where it's just manipulated to their understanding, man.
Right.
How it said in Maccabees, how they opened up the book of the law and painted the image in their likeness. They opened up our book of laws, man. These are all laws, statutes, and commandments, man. But they opened up the book to do what, man? Further confuse us, man.
Right.
If we can get Romans 1:25,
Come on.
you know what I'm saying? Because this is something that just needs to be embedded, man, in the back of our minds, man. So when that device comes up, whether it's social media, TV, or you just walking outside, you will be able to remember, man, that our oppressor is behind that, and we need to counter it with a righteous hatred towards them and to love our brothers and sisters, man.
That's right.
Because that's truly all we have, man. And that is our sole duty, man, is to love them, man. Consider the poor, man. Consider that brother of low estate, man. And meaning, of course, low estate doesn't necessarily have to mean because he's poor. You can find a rich man and his spirit is poor, man. So we need to rich up his spirit, of course, with the knowledge of the Most High, man. You got it, sir. You got it, sir.
Romans
1:25, sir, if you don't mind.
The book of Romans, chapter 1, verse 25. Who changed the truth of God into a lie?
You know what I'm saying? This is something that we have to realize, man. Our oppressor changed the truth of the Most High into a lie, man.
Right.
And that has trickled down to the Christian church. And where is it now? It's within a black community, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need to realize and we need to look on the outward side of it and not just pointing fingers at our brothers and sisters, man. Because they changed this truth of the Most High that was ordained for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians only. They changed it into a lie, man. Keep going.
Come. And worship and serve the creature more than the creator.
I'm saying they will serve the creature, man. Your Christian pastor, man. Your Al Sharptons, your Jesse Jackson, Eddie Long, Creflo Dollar, John Gray.
Right.
I mean, the list can go on and on, man, of how they serving the creature, man, and even on the oppressor side, man. We have people that of course, within the black community, that actually looks up to Donald Trump, man. Of course, you know, we do have the sidebar just a little bit, man. I mean, he's doing exactly what he's supposed to do, but we need to realize that we need to be separate from what his agenda is, man. We need to meet our brothers and sisters exactly at that, man.
Right.
We need to understand, man, that it's not them that they're in that jacked up position. It's our oppressor that they are truly in that messed up predicament, man.
That's right.
Because if not, man, we are going to continue to war against one another, man.
That's right.
We are going to continue to hate one another, man.
That's right.
And that's truly, man, like we've been saying all day, that's truly going to make America great again, man, according to Donald Trump's slogan, because that's all he wants. Just confusion, just hatred amongst one another, man.
Right.
Fights, you know, killings, monogamous relationships, man.
Right.
Pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster. You got some. You want to say off so much?
Slaps. When I was going to ask you, was it straight just to bring? If I could bring out a little bit of what that sister, sister Peggy. What's the sister name? Slaps. Her name is Polly Shepherd. She gave an interview today on CBS this morning. Slash, I was just gonna see if it was too wild. I can
break it up.
Some of the stuff she brought up. This is some of the stuff the sister Shepherd she brought out today, and it's just what you was just bringing out on the brotherhood and what happens when our people just start loving the oppressors more. And this is what she said in the interview. She said, "I was under the table looking up at him. She said, I can see his shoes. He had on dirty Timberland boots, and he came up and asked me, did I shoot you yet? And I said, no. And he said, I'm not going to. I'm going to leave you here to tell the story. One of the things that was so extraordinary about this horrible tragedy is that many people in the church seem to forgive very quickly. Were you one of the people, King asked Shepherd? I wasn't the first one. I was busy at home feeling sorry for myself, Shepherd said.
Good night.
You know, I said, Lord, why did you leave me to think about all of this? She said she felt a guilt for surviving, but that she is healing. Shepherd said she would like to minister Ruth in prison. And I would go strictly by the Bible and go into forgiveness part and just teach him how love is.
Good night. And this is good night. And this is what Christianity has done to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like Dylan Storm Roof, man, he killed, went into the church peaceful as possible. You know what I'm saying? Harmless as a dove, quote unquote, and shot 9 innocent people. And this was a sister, right, sir? And this was a sister that said that she forgives him and that she's going to minister unto him with love coming directly out of the Bible, man. No, man. That is just wrong on so many levels, man.
Now, if I could,
Come on, sir.
to tie this back to brotherhood,
Come on, sir.
if we understood the power of brotherhood,
Come.
then there wouldn't be no devil government in that church, man.
Come, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Brothers and sisters would be safe.
Come, sir.
Rest assured, the I.S.U.P.K. ain't nobody coming up here threatening the lives, no matter what nationality you are.
Damn right.
You ain't coming here threatening the lives of the brother and the sisterhood of
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why brotherhood is such a damn weapon, man.
Right.
And if there was brotherhood, if brotherhood was established everywhere on all 4 corners of this earth under the I.S.U.P.K, that incident, that tragic incident, would have never happened, man.
Right.
That's all I have to say about it.
All right, sir. Damn right, sir. Let's get a hot one, a powerful hand, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's just so evident, man. You know what I'm saying? Because of course, you know what I'm saying? Like when brothers and sisters first come into the school, one of their first saying is, man, like, man, y'all very, very militant, man. Or you know, like this is very, very structured, man. And that's something that, of course, we stand on, man. Why, man? Because we care for our brothers and sisters, man. You know what I'm saying? Like we are in protection, man, of our brothers and sisters, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, like there is, man, like, and this has been a saying since I've been in the school, man. Every kid in the UPK, man, they are just so happy, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like they just run around freely, don't have to worry about anything, man. Always, you know, like tearing up stuff. It don't even matter, man.
That's right.
They're happy, man. Why, man? Because they're under this umbrella, man, of true leadership, man, of true righteousness, man. Why, man? Because we know how our oppressor thinks, man, and we know exactly what their devices are, and we know how to counter it with brotherhood and sisterhood, man, with that protection, man, with the toolage and information that has been given to us, so we'll be able to care for our brothers and sisters, man, and meet them exactly where they're at, man. Because if not, man, who's going to do it? You're going to rely on the Christian pastor when the sister just said, oh man, she's going to come directly out of the Bible and she forgives Dylan Storm Roof for killing 9 innocent people, and she's going to go into the Bible and minister unto them. Where is that in the Bible? Shalom, if I could. Where in the Bible where you see a sister teaching, man? That's why I said it's wrong on so many levels, man. And I don't want to have brought out, man, you know, like if true brotherhood was within that church, Dylan Storm Roof wouldn't even stood foot in that church, man, because they would knew, like they would have known that, of course, according to the scriptures, that it's not for him, so he has no business going into that church, man. So that was a lack of brotherhood, man. You know, something like that was a lack of protection, man. And those Christian pastors, man, they did not truly care about their people, man, about that Charleston 9, man. Right. They truly did not care for them, man, because if they truly had an understanding they wouldn't even allow him in that church, man.
And if I could, just also to add, man, listen, you know, so much of our culture comes out of us and we don't even realize it, man.
Right.
So much of who we really are, who we truly are, comes out of us and we don't even really notice it. He just said that the sister, you know, she felt guilty. She felt guilty that she survived that situation. You know what I'm saying? She felt like she was supposed to have died with everybody in there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and in reality and the truth, you know what I'm saying? If I'm going out on the battlefield with my brothers, right, you know, I'm gonna die with my brothers. Right. So she didn't even know that in itself that is literally, you know, that would have been the right spirit, you know, at that time period or whatever, you know, that would have been the right spirit. But it's just like, man, again, brotherhood, when you tie back to brotherhood, that would have never happened. That was a tragic incident, and it should have never happened. But without the Lord's law, statutes, and commandments, without the guidance of the true prophets and priests of the Lord, that's the things that happen, man. Right. And our people are in danger. Our people are in danger. When you don't have that brotherhood, you don't have that love for this truth, man, and you don't have that brotherhood, your lives are in danger, man, because you don't have the protection and the guidance and the wisdom that you need to survive, to get through this hell that we're living in. Right. You know what I'm saying? So that and so that's all I want to bring out on that part.
Come. And we're gonna try to squeeze one last scripture in. If we can get Psalms 133 and 1.
Come.
Psalms 133 and 1, man. You understand? Because we need to realize, man, of course, once again, man, day in and day out, man, upside down, man, inward out, man. You know what I'm saying? That brotherhood is the answer to everything that's going to help the black community, man. Brotherhood, and more brotherhood, man. You can go ahead and read it when you got it, sir.
Come. The book of Psalms, chapter 133, verse 1.
Come.
The book of Psalms, chapter 133, verse 1. Behold, how good and how pleasant is it for brethren to dwell together in unity.
In what?
In unity.
In unity, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you're going to witness, man, at the 51st annual Passover, man. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be at Westchester County, 198 Central Avenue, White Plains, New York, 10606, man. It's going to be April 9th, man, under the righteous leadership of Commander General YAHANNA, man. Because he is a true brother that cares about his people, man.
Damn right.
You know what I'm saying? With that, man, we're going to end out the class. This is I.S.U.P.K, of course. We started at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. I'm going to go ahead and do the security announcement. You going to pass it to Abban? All right, come. I'm going to pass the class over to Precinct Officer Abban Karat.
That's all right.
Come. Turn this up. I.S.U.P.K security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rules for new brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves of the word. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, Numbers 18 through 21. Malachi 3, verse 3, chapter 3, verse 8 through 10, means tenth in the Hebrew, Masharah. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the Treasury Department or the teacher. Priest funds, free will offering for the priest. Not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations will be the Feast of Purim, 14th day and the 15th day of the 12th month. Saturday, March 7th, and Sunday, March 8th, 2020, in the book of Esther, chapter 9, verse 20 through 31. Remind all Akim and Akwak to check the bulletin board in the hallway. If anyone wants to be a troop in the school, to start wearing all blacks, boots, shirt, pants, and headband. And with that, shalom.